right, welcome to Between the Sets, episode 4. I'm Drake, and this show we can talk about pretty much anything, like what is the difference between a Porsche GT2 RS and a GT3 RS, or we can talk about some bro science stuff. Today, we're going to talk about some fitness with one of my boys that I work with. His name is Jeremy, and my name is also Jeremy. So, episode 4, J squared. I mean, there's a lot of different titles that we can have for this episode, but we're going to get into it. We're just going to talk about fitness because we both are passionate about it. So without further ado, Moseley, Jeremy, take it away. Give yourself an introduction. Let them know just like a brief story about how you came into fitness.
Well, I came into fitness, I'd say 15 years ago or so. Maybe 13 years ago. I didn't really have a reason or a goal or anything set. It just, it was something to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then I ended up meeting quite a few people that had a good passion for it.
Yeah.
Going.
Kind of like, at least from what we talked about before, it seemed like they kind of like took you under their wing and stuff and showed you some of the stuff as well.
Yeah. I had a couple buddies that they own gyms now, but at the time they just had a great passion for it.
Yeah.
So they kind of literally took me under their wing and pushed me as hard as they were pushing themselves.
Right.
So it worked out for me. You know,
that's cool.
I trained with them. So
yeah.
And then it just turned into a pretty addictive lifestyle, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. As far as you said you didn't have like a particular goal when you started, but through the journey, did you ever get to a particular point that you were like really proud of, or something that you ended up accomplishing that you were like, you look back now and you're like, hell yeah?
I never really set any crazy goals, honestly. I truly didn't. I made very realistic goals. Usually 10 pounds at a time is what I was doing. And it got to a point where I was gaining pretty decent weight.
Yeah.
Pretty quick. So I kind of stopped the whole looking for certain poundage. I more had physical goals, I guess.
Yeah.
I got rid of the scale.
Sure.
I was doing everything through physical appearance.
Yeah, and that works. I mean, sometimes that works better for some people. Some people work better with a scale. Some people work better without a scale. It just kind of depends on what your preference is and stuff.
The scale kind of threw me off to where I don't know. It wouldn't let me focus on what I really needed to do.
Yeah.
When I got rid of the scale, I was able to focus a little bit better and get better results out of it, actually.
That's good. I felt like, even though you said there wasn't really maybe like a specific goal, I feel like something for you to be proud of, though, is to at least be proud of the consistency that you've still had that relationship for 13 years in the gym. You know what I mean?
I think for me, it was honestly, the diet was the easiest thing for me. I'm pretty good at staying consistent with everything I eat.
Yeah.
It's very easy for me to eat the same foods over and over and over, and it doesn't bug me. So I think
that's actually, that's a benefit.
Definitely benefit me a lot more than a single day.
Yeah.
Still to this day, I don't have to train every single day.
Mm-hmm.
As long as I eat, as long as I'm getting my food in, and even everybody at work, they all know that I eat the same food every day. That's
true. It's funny how they kind of, how there's a lot of variables, right, that kind of balance each other out in terms of like the individuals, and how maybe one say such as yourself, you have a fairly good relationship with being regimented in your diet, you know? Yeah. And then eating the same foods, right? But that may not be the case for someone else, but they may have another benefit that adds to their repertoire differently than yours, you know? Like, I always talk about like Lacombe, right? Like, me and him, and he always says like his thing is his appetite, you know. He always like it because it keeps him, you know, it's one of those things that he can't that he has a hard time with, you know, eating more food, right, to gain that size and stuff. And then that's where I'm like, I'm cool with it. I'm like, dude, you get me, I got the appetite. But then that's where that's where it becomes difficult because I have the crazy appetite. So that's where it's hard to control that crazy appetite, you know? So
even when I mean, I've never really had crazy where I had to eat 6,000 calories a day. I've never had to do that.
yeah.
But I have definitely had the diets to where you don't feel good when you're eating that like,
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, we've all gone through it, and whatever
sure.
works for everybody's different. So what
Yeah.
works for me doesn't work for everybody. So
Yeah, that's true.
that's why I stick to finally what I know works for me. So
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah.
So yeah, definitely consistency is a good thing to be proud of for sure. What kind of takes away from your consistency?
Now, my family, it's
Well,
kids.
I guess as a whole, maybe going through the journey, you know what I mean? I don't know, like,
I mean, I still live life like everybody else. So I do the river, I do the desert.
oh yeah.
So in being away, I mean, my family has a house in Arizona and stuff. So I go back and forth. So it's kind of hard to, but I'm pretty realistic when it comes to, if we're gonna have pizza, I'm gonna eat. I know what I have to do at home. So
for you, it's kind of more of that. I feel like it seems like an awareness thing where, you know, you're like, hey, I have this relationship with the gym, dieting and all that stuff, but it's not necessarily my entire life or my entire.
No, it's definitely a big part of my life. But I mean, just like anybody else, I mean, as long as you know where you stand at the end of the day,
yeah,
it's not going to hurt you. I mean, at least I'm not training to go.
Exactly. That's the thing. Cause that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm going to interview, Martin, Big Martin.
Yeah.
From Paris, you know? So I'm sure, you know, he's a different person. So, and his whole thing,
I've seen him eat a dozen of donuts before, and but he knows where he is at the end of the day. So.
Oh, he knows where he is, and that boy he's just a beast, man. He's just a beast.
Yeah.
And wasn't he like IFBB Pro or something like that? He got his pro card too. Huh?
I know his wife was as well, or whatever she is.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So that's crazy, but it's gonna you kind of just have to know, you know what I mean? Like, for me, like I have certain goals, you know, like I know that I want to accomplish, whether it's current weight and then strength goals and stuff. But I also understand that I'm not going to be like an elite competitive power lifter. You know what I mean? Yeah. I understand that. So it's just kind of important in that sense. And that's how you said it earlier, like setting realistic goals for yourself, you know?
Yeah. That's the way I was taught. I mean, that's the way I was taught by the people that took me under, and they were the same way. They still had fun at the river, and
yeah,
it made sense to me, and I followed kind of what they were doing, and thankfully my body works similar to how theirs does, and it kind of worked out the same. So
yeah. Okay, next question. What things annoy you about the fitness community? Just anything, whether it's like
I think people that are I think what annoys me in that industry would be the people that are fake about it. Natural versus non-natural.
So you
prefer? A lot of people lie about what they do. A lot of people lie. I mean, that's kind of what it comes.
That's true. Yeah, the transparency stuff is pretty big in terms of being super huge on, you know, steroids or whatever the case, and then selling a whole bunch of other non-related items that are they don't really do anything. And then that's gonna 15-year-olds, usually younger peeps, are gonna see that and they're gonna say, oh, well, if I take XYZ supplements, then I'm gonna look like that someday. And then
I think that's probably the biggest thing that gets not being truthful. I mean, if you do stuff, you do it, cool. I mean, you don't, and that's even better. That's cool.
Yeah, for sure. It's a lot of respect, you know, in terms of that. That's the thing for me. Also too is people's like within the fitness niches, you know, people and how it's like, oh, you're a bodybuilder, you're a power lifter. And then, you know, they don't necessarily like accept one another. I know like everything is cool. Like, we can razz on each other and stuff and be like, you know, CrossFitters or whatever, but you know, like, but at the end of the day, we could still be homies, you know, and be and rib each other and all that.
I've never had any. I mean, I think CrossFit's freaking cool. I just can't do it because
I think it's cool too.
Don't let me do it.
I think it's cool too, but it's also funny. You know, there's some certain things because when you have like a a methodology of training inside your head, and you look through your lens of training to theirs, it's completely different. And I'm sure, and there's all sorts of weird, like all sorts of power lifter things that are super funny too. You know, when you see a brand new power lifter and they got wrist wraps on, dude, and they got the big fat belt and the gallon jug and like all this stuff, and then they still can't even hit their weights. You know, it's there's all sorts of little jabs, that are fun between the different classes and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's all good. I feel like that could be improved, but and that's just a matter of doing it over time and stuff and opening the doors. If you weren't in like working out type stuff, what kind of sports? It could be a sport maybe, or just another sort of athletic endeavor. If you weren't a lifter.
Honestly, I have no idea what I would do anymore. I came from the motocross stuff.
That's what I was gonna say. I was thinking maybe.
But I don't think I would go back. I truly don't think I would ever go back.
No, but I'm saying in an alternate universe, like if you never went down this path, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd probably still be riding.
Yeah.
But I definitely think I would still be in motocross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You remember when you were watching that documentary?
Which documentary?
It was that motocross documentary about one of the families, dude, that I forgot which one it was. I think it was on YouTube.
Oh, the one that's
and then it was like, it was we were at work and it was on YouTube, and it was like some of the motocross kids and stuff, and like how crazy all the drama was, and then you're like, yeah, and I'm like, dang, that world is crazy. To me, it seemed even crazy.
It's definitely a different world.
It seemed even crazier than like the crazy fitness stuff, but I guess every sport has their own little skeletons in their closet,
Yeah.
What is your advice for people looking to start a fitness journey but are just kind of on the fence? What's just some good like guide, if you will, for them to start off?
Just stay consistent. Don't give up. Give it everything you've got. That's kind of what it comes down to.
That's really big.
It definitely doesn't come overnight. So it takes time. So
be
patient.
Yeah, that's a big thing. For sure. I definitely agree. It's the consistency is the biggest deal.
Yeah.
Okay. Unrelated fitness questions. What is the difference between a GT2 RS and a GT3 RS? One's a track one. One's a non-track. Right? More so?
Honestly, I'm not too sure.
Dude, all I know is
3 RS.
I know GT2s are like more expensive.
It is, because it's an invitational car. I know that.
Oh, okay. So you gotta be.
I haven't really looked much into it.
Yeah, you gotta be in the know and have the Porsche collection.
Yeah.
Dang. Okay.
I think I would still rather have the GT3 RS.
Yeah. Hey, they're pretty sick cars still. Okay, so another non-related fitness question, and I've already asked you this before, but I don't know if it's changed. Top three cars, money is no object, and I think I already know one of them because it's the background at work.
Number one would definitely be a Huracan.
Okay. The Evo, the new one?
No.
Okay.
2 would be GT3 RS, and 3, I would probably have to say my old Evo 9.
Ooh, that's
if I can find that car.
That's actually a good one. I wasn't expecting that one, but that's actually a really good a good lineup.
If I can find that car, which is probably blown up or on fire somewhere or whatever, crashed, I would definitely take that car. Probably Probably before the GT3.
Oh yeah, that's your baby, probably, huh?
Just because I know I'd be able to blow a GT3 out of the water.
Yeah.
That car.
That's cool.
Yeah, those would be my picks.
Nice. That's legit. All right, so we covered it. Between the sets, we talked about some Porsches. We talked about a fitness journey with my boy Moseley, aka Jeremy. We had a good time. I appreciate his time. If you guys liked it, if you found any value in it, go ahead and give a like. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Yeah, that's it. This is where we talk about the stuff that comes up between the sets. So I appreciate you guys listening. Take care.